Welcome to the review of Tokyo Ghoul Season 1. Now onto the episode. Tragedy begins with two ghouls Rize and Jason talking. Kaneki and his friend Hide hang out. Kaneki goes on a date with Rize. Rize reveals to Kaneki that she is a ghoul. Rize chases after Kaneki. Rize gets crushed by steel beams. Kaneki gets Rize's organs transplanted inside of him. Kaneki becomes a half-ghoul. Kaneki talks to Dr. Kano about his change in taste. Kaneki gets discharged from the hospital. Kaneki finds out that he is a ghoul now. Kaneki fails at hurting himself. Kaneki gets lured by the smell of a ghoul eating a human. A ghoul named Nishiki kills the ghoul and attacks Kaneki. A ghoul named Toka helps Kaneki and runs Nishiki off. Toka recognizes Kaneki. Tragedy ends with Toka helping Kaneki eat. Incubation begins with Kaneki and Toka talking. Kaneki gets taken in by Yoshimura, who owns the coffee shop Onteku. Kaneki learns that he can still enjoy coffee. Kaneki is given a package. Yoshimura informs Toka that Rize and Kaneki were crushed by steel beams and Kaneki got Rize's organs transplanted into him. Kaneki returns to school. Kaneki meets with Hide to pick up materials from Nishiki. The trio leaves to get the materials. Nishiki attacks Hide and Kaneki. Kaneki remembers when Hide started to talk to him. Kenki and Nishiki fight. Kaneki defeats Nishiki. Toka stops Kaneki from eating Hide. Kaneki and Hide arrive at Onteku. Yoshimura offers Kaneki a place at Onteku. Incubation ends with two CCG investigators talking about Rize and Jason. Dove begins with Jason meeting a doctor. Kaneki trains with Yoshimura. Hide learns of a fake story of what happened to them. Kaneki meets Ryuka and her daughter Hinami. The CCG holds a meeting. Two CCG investigators Amon and Mado are sent to investigate the 20th ward. Kaneki goes with Renji to collect bodies. Mado kills a ghoul while looking for information about an item that was left by Jason. Kaneki goes with Toka to meet Uda for a mask. Kaneki and Uda talk about Toka. Toka and Kaneki talk about doves and the reason for having a mask. Amon and Mado kill more ghouls while looking for information. Kaneki apologizes to Hinami for walking in on her eating. Kaneki hangs out with Hinami. Amon and Mado kill more ghouls. Dove ends with Shu arriving at Onteku. Supper begins with Kaneki meets Shu. Kaneki and Shu hang out. Kaneki trains with Renji. Renji takes Kaneki to a bar to meet with Uda and Itori. Kaneki learns about another half-ghoul. Kaneki talks to Shu about Rize. Shu gets interested in Kaneki. Shu invites Kaneki to Rize's favorite place. Kaneki learns that he was tricked and is instead brought to a ghoul feast. Kaneki meets a scrapper named Taro. The ghouls find out that Kaneki is a one-eyed ghoul. Shu kills Taro. Supper ends with Shu planning to keep Kaneki to himself. Scar begins with Kaneki hanging out with Toka and Hinami. The trio gets visited by Toka's friend Yoriko. Shu plans to do something with Kaneki. Kaneki saves Nishiki from a group of ghouls. Kaneki meets Nishiki's girlfriend Kimi. Shu kidnaps Kimi. Shu invites Kaneki over. Kaneki and Nishiki confront Shu. Toka arrives and attacks Shu. Kaneki and Toka fight Shu. Nishiki remembers his sister dying. Nishiki remembers meeting Kimi. Nishiki and Shu fight. Scar ends with Toka regaining her strength by taking a bite out of Kaneki. Cloudburst begins with Toka and Shu fighting. The trio defeats Shu. Toka is stopped from killing Kimi. Nishiki joins Onteku. Hinami gets upset with Ryuka. Kaneki talks to Ryuka about her husband. Jason attacks Hinami's dad Asaki. Amon and Mado fight Jason. Jason flees. Mado kills Asaki. The CCG looks into Asaki's place. Kaneki and Toka talk. The CCG learns Asaki had a family. Hinami and Ryuka go shopping. Hinami gets lured by her father's scent from Amon, Mado and two other investigators. Cloudburst ends with Ryuka giving Hinami time to run away. Captivity begins with Kaneki finding Hinami. The duo goes to Ryuka. Kaneki watches Mado kill Ryuka. Onteku holds a meeting. Yoshimura plans to move the group to another ward. Toka gets upset. Amon hangs out with two other CCG investigators. Toka kills one of the ghoul investigators. Toka fights Mado. Toka flees. Toka gets injured. Kaneki tells Toka that he wants to help. The CCG holds a meeting for the dead investigators. Amon learns that he will be moved once he is down in the 20th ward. Mado gets informed about the sewers. Captivity ends with Uda giving Kaneki his mask. Circular begins with Kaneki and Toka finding out that Hinami ran away. Hinami finds Ryuka's remains. Toka finds Hinami. Mado finds Toka and Hinami. Kaneki finds Amon. Kaneki and Amon fight. Toka and Mado fight. Kaneki attempts to talk to Amon. Hinami attacks Mado. Toka kills Mado. Renji calms Kaneki down. Amon finds Mado dead. Circular ends with Kaneki, Toka, Hinami and Renji leaving. Birdcage begins with Amon remembering Mado. Amon meets with a ghoul investigator named Shinohara. Kaneki feels that everything is getting better. Kaneki talks to Itori about Rize. Kaneki gets pickpocketed. Amon joins Shinohara at the 11th ward. Kaneki talks to Toka. Birdcage ends with a group of ghouls from the 11th ward going to the 20th ward. Aogiri begins with a group of ghoul investigators getting killed. Yoshimura and Renji learn about the ghoul group known as Aogiri. Kaneki and Toka get visited by a ghoul named Banjo. Banjo asks the duo about Rize. Banjo tells Kaneki about Aogiri. Toka's brother Ayato arrives at Onteku. Jason arrives at Onteku. The CCG holds a meeting about Aogiri. Shinohara's helper Juzo arrives at the meeting. Jason attacks Kaneki. Ayato attacks Toka. Aogiri takes Kaneki. Amon and Shinohara talk. Onteku holds a meeting. The group plans to save Kaneki. Aogiri ends with Shu joining the group. High Spirits begins with Jason torturing Kaneki. The CCG heads out to fight Aogiri. Hide gets worried about Kaneki. Banjo plans to save Kaneki. Onteku heads out to save Kaneki. Shinohara and Amon talk about Jason. The CCG and Aogiri fight. Onteku fight Aogiri and look for Kaneki. High Spirits ends with the CCG running into the one-eyed owl. Ghoul begins with Jason continuing to torture Kaneki. Kaneki speaks to Rize in his head. Kaneki remembers his mother. Jason kills two members of Aogiri in front of Kaneki. Kaneki accepts the ghoul side of him. Kaneki breaks free. Kaneki and Jason fight. Ghoul ends with Kaneki eating Jason. That was Tokyo Ghoul Season 1. Now onto my final thoughts. Starting with the good, the characters, story and the fights. The opening theme, Unravel by Toru Kitajima. The ending theme, Sejiatachi by People in the Box. There is nothing I would consider that was bad throughout the season. Overall I would give it a 7.5 out of 10.